Kyle, I don't want to nag, but isn't it time for you to find a job? It's been almost a year since you left your job. Our daughter is a housewife, so if you don't start helping out, you'll struggle to get by. It's important for a husband to support his wife financially. I've been supporting my family all this time. And here you are, unemployed. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have agreed to your marriage with our daughter. Adam, as I've mentioned several times before, I left my job to work as a freelancer. What? A freelancer? You've been cooped up at home all this time. It seems like you're just a bum. I'm not a bum. I work from home. What do you mean by that? I've been hearing about remote work lately. But how can you even do that? I think you're just stuck in your room playing games all day. If you think you can trick me with that excuse, you're wrong. I'm not playing games at all. Thanks to my efforts, I've been getting a lot of work and staying busy every day. You know what? I'm actually earning more now than I used to. That can't be true. How can someone like you, who's not even working, claim to be getting paid by anyone? How can I get you to believe me? If you start giving us allowance, enough to live on, then I'll believe you. An allowance? You're still working and receiving a pension, so I think you're doing better financially than us. Actually, I've been thinking about quitting my job for a while now. I'm getting older, and my body isn't what it used to be. My friends have all retired, and I can't bear to keep working so hard while they're enjoying their retirement. Do you not have any savings? You have a pension and you're working, so giving you an allowance might be a bit too much. I knew it! You're lying about making money, aren't you? That's why you can't give us an allowance, right? We had to borrow money from relatives to send our daughter and son to college. So, we've been working hard to pay that back and couldn't save any money. And there's still some debt left. If you don't give us an allowance, I'll have to keep working myself to exhaustion to pay off the debt. Were you always this heartless? I didn't think I'd hand my daughter with someone like you. Got it. So if I give you an allowance, you'll lay off the nagging, right? I don't want to push you too hard, so I'll start giving you an allowance from next month. Seriously? That's a relief. If you start giving us an allowance, I'll definitely acknowledge your efforts. All right, I'll count on you starting next month. Please talk to Mom about the specifics like the bank account. Okay. Hey, Kyle. I heard from Dad that you're going to give us an allowance. That's really helpful. But are you sure it's okay? Good evening, Shirley. What do you mean by, is it okay? I'm talking about the allowance. You don't have a job, so how are you going to give us money? You're saying stuff like freelancer and working from home. It seems like you've fooled my husband, but I'm not buying it. Being at home every day just means you're not working, right? I've mentioned this before, and I told Adam about it yesterday too. Being a freelancer means I don't get paid by a company. Instead, I work on my own and earn money that way. Working from home means I have the setup to work at home instead of going to an office. So I'm definitely not unemployed. Since I started freelancing, I've actually been busier. And while I may be inconveniencing your daughter with household chores, my income has gone up. Even though your daughter is a housewife, we're able to save money now, so don't worry about that. I'm not quite sure what's going on. It sounds like you're going to start giving us money. Adam handed in his resignation today. We really need that allowance to get by. If it turns out you were lying about making money and can't give us the allowance, I won't forgive you. Understood? He handed in his resignation already? He really wanted to quit that badly, huh? I won't lie to him. I promised Adam I'd provide the allowance. So, how much do you need for the allowance? Yeah, I think $2,000 would really help us out. That much? What? You heard it from Adam, right? We have debts to relatives. We need to pay them back every month. And you said your income has increased, didn't you? Was that a lie too? Is it okay for us not to believe you? How much longer until you finish paying it off? Maybe about a year. Then please promise that the $2,000 allowance will only be for a year. We want to save up for the future, and we've been talking about having kids soon. Even if my income has gone up, giving such a big amount every month would be really tough. I understand. So, can we count on the $2,000 for at least 1 year? I understand, but there's one more thing I need you to promise. There's more? Your younger son and his wife are both employed, correct? Yeah, what about it? It's really tough for just us to provide the allowance. So could we also ask for some support from them too? It doesn't have to be the same amount, but could we ask them to contribute something? Okay, I promise. Thank you. Hey, Kyle, how are you? Hello, Shirley. What's up? I have a huge favor to ask. You're not going to ask for an increase in allowance again, are you? How did you know? Are you saying you understand how we feel? No, it's not like that. It's just that every time you contact us since we started giving the allowance, it's always about not having enough money or asking us to increase it. I just had a bad feeling about it. A bad feeling? How rude! I mean, I already added another $1,000 to the initial amount. Isn't it strange to still say it's not enough? You're supposed to be getting a pension, and your younger son and his wife are also giving you some money, right? You're right, but... Are they really giving you money too? Yes, they are. I'm keeping my promise. If that's true, you should be better off than most working people, right? So why isn't it enough? Even with debts, it just doesn't add up. Don't be so cold. The TV, fridge, and a few other appliances all decided to break down at once. You know how pricey electronics are, right? But they're necessities, and when you have to replace them, it's like throwing away tens of thousands of dollars, leaving us short on our living expenses. And right now, everything, especially groceries, is just so expensive. We're definitely not living lavishly. But even so, the money's just not cutting it. We're not young anymore, so we have to be careful with what we eat too. We might even get sick. Is that really okay with you? That's not what I'm trying to say. So, are you going to increase the allowance for us? Fine. I'll send $3,500 next month. So let's see how it goes for now. If everything seems okay, we'll go back to the usual amount, all right? That's the spirit. Thank you so much, Kyle. Please, use it wisely. Hey, Kyle, about the allowance. What happened? I've been holding back for so long, but I've had enough. Huh? You've been talking about how you're not a bum and promising to give us some allowance. But seriously? $10? Are you serious? You're being disrespectful. That barely covers a day's worth of food. What are you talking about? There's no way it's just $10. You should know if you check the bank statement. Shirley's got it all sorted out, no doubt. Enough with the excuses. And you know what? My son and his wife sends us $3,500 every month. He's some big shot at a major company, you know? Unlike you, who quit your job and can only manage to send us $10. Looks like there's been a mix-up. I'm the one sending $3,500. Isn't it your son who was the one sending $10? It's way too little, and even I'm confused by it. I thought they were sending at least $1,000. I never imagined they were struggling that much. There's no way that's true. Don't disrespect Tim like that, acting all high and mighty when you're only sending $10. If you're gonna act all superior with that measly amount, then forget it. Go ahead and stop sending money. Are you sure? Obviously. Even if you stop sending money, it won't make a difference. Got it. That helps. The original agreement was $2,000, and that was supposed to last a year. But then, it got bumped up to $3,500. And even after a year passed, you kept asking for more. It's getting tough for us to manage, so I've been taking on a lot more work. Honestly, I'm at my limit, both physically and mentally. What nonsense are you talking about? Get a grip on reality, will you? Anyway, whether you send money or not, it doesn't make a difference to us anymore. So we don't need it starting this month. Got it? Got it. I was planning to send the money this week. But if that's what you want, I'll stop starting this month. And just so you know, it's not a one-time thing. I'm stopping it for good. Fine. Do whatever you want. We don't need your $10 anyway. Kyle, we were expecting the transfer by yesterday, but it still hasn't come through. We count on your allowance, so it's really causing us trouble. If it's going to be late, just give us a heads up, okay? Have you heard anything from Adam about this? Huh? What is it? Adam said I don't have to send money anymore. What? You're kidding, right? I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like he thinks I'm only sending $10 each month. What? He told me your son sends you $3,500 a month, so he said he didn't need my allowance. Of course, I denied it. I even said maybe Tim's allowance is just $10. But he insisted I'm only sending $10. He told me to stop sending money, so I decided to do just that. Please, I think it's just a misunderstanding. I'll talk to him and straighten things out. Could you please keep sending the allowance? I refuse. But we're family, right? Don't be so cold-hearted. Who's being cold-hearted here? Do you even realize how tough it is to send that amount of money? I've been working extra hard, sacrificing sleep just to manage. Being called measly money is something I won't forget. I won't be sending any more allowance from now on, so keep that in mind. No way! We won't be able to make ends meet. Adam, what on earth were you thinking? What the hell, Shirley? I'll be home in an hour. I'll talk to you when I get home. This is important. What are you so mad about? I heard you turned down Kyle's allowance. Why would you do that? He was acting all high and mighty over his measly $10 allowance. It just got on my nerves. He's got Tim and his wife sending $3,500. And he's complaining about their allowance being low. I had enough. So I told him we don't need his allowance anymore. What are you talking about? It's Kyle who's sending $3,500. The $10 is from Tim and his wife. Huh? You're lying, right? Why would I lie about it? I can't believe you actually said we don't need it anymore. And he even said he won't be sending any more allowance from now on. He seemed really angry. What are we going to do? Don't blame me for this. You're the one who said Tim and his wife are sending $3,500, right? I know Tim turned down sending the allowance at first, but I promised Kyle that I'd make sure Tim helps us out too. Tim got pissed and agreed to send us money. Then he said he'll only send $10. I know my son-in-law is more successful, kinder, and earns more than my own son. But I just couldn't bring myself to admit it. Seriously? You don't need to lie to me. It's gotta be your fault, isn't it? I know I messed up too, but there's no need to talk to Kyle like that, is there? Why does he make so much money anyway? Didn't he explain it to you? He's a freelancer. I know that, but what does he do? He basically runs his own company. Are you serious? I didn't fully understand it at first either, but the other day, a neighbor showed me an article about him. I was really surprised. It said he's a promising young CEO. Why didn't you tell me about that? Yep, I told you about it then. Even set the record straight about the allowance. But you were stuck on the idea that Kyle, being a freelancer, couldn't possibly earn that much. Didn't take my word for it. I'm gonna apologize to Kyle right now and straighten things out, so he'll start sending the allowance again. Yeah, he's a nice guy, so he'll probably forgive you. You mentioned wanting that new bag, huh? Without allowance from him, you can't get it, right? Yeah, you're right. I've got a golf game planned next week, so I gotta figure things out before then. Kyle, I messed up. Seems like I misunderstood. You were the one who was sending us $3,500. I didn't know you run your own company. Even if you apologize now, I won't be sending any more allowances, all right? Please don't say that. I've said it countless times, haven't I? I'm not just at home doing nothing. I earn money. I even double-checked with you if it's okay to stop the allowance. But despite all that, not believing a single word I say, you even said it won't make a difference if I send money or not. Thinking I can just apologize, get forgiven, and receive the allowance again? It's really pushing it, don't you think? I understand. I'll admit it was my fault. But don't you think our daughter will be sad if you stop sending money? What are we going to do if we starve to death? Your daughter even said I don't have to send money anymore. What? I kept the money thing from my wife to avoid stressing her out. But when I finally opened up to her about it, she got even more mad than me. She said she would cut ties with you. Are you serious? Yeah. Why don't you ask her yourself? But I think you've been blocked, so probably won't get through. What? That can't be true. My wife blocked both of her parents. Dealing with her demanding parents was really tough. When she found out they were making me send them money, it was just too much. But this situation gave her the chance to finally break free from them. And honestly, I'm relieved. When my wife contacted her relatives and revealed that I had been sending her parents money, despite their overdue repayments, they got angry and said they would take appropriate action. It seems they're in for a tough time ahead, but I think they deserve it.